So you've decided to go to bartending school. Well, I think it's probably a pretty good idea. From here, you got to decide, do you want to go online or do you want to go to a physical location? Is an actual certificate important to you? So I'm going to go into this and kind of explain the differences, some pros and cons. I think you're going to be surprised at what I have to say. So you might be asking, well, Mark, did you go to bartending school? Yes, I did, many years ago. Right out of high school, I went in the Marine Corps. And when I was getting close to being discharged at the end of my enlistment, I got to thinking, well, what am I going to do? I didn't want to stay in the Corps, not enough money, all right, and freedom, I wanted some more freedom, but no skills. So here I am. It's 2 weeks or about a month before I get out, and I see this ad on TV, and it's about a bartending school. So I went. I was hooked, and I loved it. Looking back, they focused way too much just on drinks. I think I learned hundreds of drinks that I never made for the rest of my life. But I did get some basic skills, and it helped me. So after I got out of the Corps, I had to wait about 2 weeks before I turned 21. 2 weeks after that, I got my first job. And I worked my first job at a very busy place, mostly in the service bar because I was the low man on the ladder there, but great experience. So don't let anybody ever tell you that it doesn't help, because it does. So, online or a physical location. I put a little something together for you. It runs through the pros and cons, and I think it's going to be an eye-opener. All right, so let's take a look. Okay, you've decided to go to bartending school. Which type of school should you go to? Do your homework first. And first of all, I understand that it's not required. You do not need a bartender's license to get a job as a bartender. I have other videos on that. You've probably seen that all over YouTube. You don't need a license, and that's great. So make a decision. Do you want to go online or a physical location? And remember that it's for your benefit, not the bar owner or the manager, whatever place that you're applying to. It's for your benefit. It's simply to gain more skills. And you need to add skills any way you can if you have no experience. Is there a guarantee? Most likely not. They're going to offer you both online and at a physical location. They'll allow you to come back and practice your pouring, and online you can sign in and out probably for the rest of your life. And I get that. If I had a bartending school, which I will here soon, I wouldn't offer a guarantee because quite simply there's just way too many people ripping off legitimate business owners by asking for their money back. It's actually horrible what's happened out there. Okay. Now, that being said, if I were going to go to a physical location and my first class and I'm sitting there and it's just not good, the instructor doesn't know what's going on, it's poor facilities or whatever, I would immediately get up and ask for the owner, whoever, and ask for my money back right then and there before I even got into it. If they're any sort of legitimate operation, they'll do that for you. So keep that in mind. Same with the online, actually. What I would do is if I went online and I paid $49, and so I get my password, I go online, and all I see is 10 sections with 10 categories of different types of drinks. And that's it. I would immediately email them. I would stop using the site, email them and say, you know what, please refund my money. This is very misleading. But that's up to you. Now, how do I know what's kind of going out there? Well, before I started my channel, I went online and signed up for 4 or 5 online bartending courses. And I'm not impressed. There was actually just one that I thought was good. Now, I've also been to YouTube. I've seen all these videos that are going on out there. And there's only 1 or 2 guys out there that I've seen that are the real deal. I know from my experience that these guys, they know what they're talking about. I don't know what their courses are like. I don't even think one of them has one. But you need to be careful and think about that. Going to bartender school can work to your advantage in an interview, combined with additional skills. And I'm going to teach you that. The interview process is the most important part of the job, the whole job deal, and getting that job. And I'm going to give you answers. They're my suggestions, my opinions, but I've interviewed a lot of bartenders, okay? And I've worked at a lot of places, so I kind of know what I'm doing here. So, and of course at the end of this, I'm going to give you the answer to just a really good question that you're probably going to get asked. So, how do I prefer to learn? Okay, don't pay too much attention to this, except for the bottom two. Do you learn best when there's other people around? The instructor's right there. You can ask questions. You want to physically get in there and try to be in a environment like a bar. Well, then you might want to go to a physical location. If you prefer to work alone, obviously go online. At a physical location, I would recommend this. I'm always going to recommend going to an online school and getting the certificate over a physical location, but there are reasons to go to a physical location, and that's for people that are a little shy or timid. Maybe you lack a little confidence. You haven't been in the food and beverage industry at all, and you really just have no clue. Personally, I'd go in, for a week and sit down at different bars and ask the bartender questions and watch and see what he's doing. And that's what I would do. I think that's probably the best thing that you can do. So, okay, on location, you got a simulated bar, which is nice. It's going to be set up kind of like a bar. All bars are different. They're going to have a lot of the same equipment, but there's just, little minor differences. But you'll get to know the equipment, the POS system, point of sale, cash register. You'll get basic skills, pouring, fruit, shaking, muddling, etc. To be honest, you can learn that online. Watch some online videos on that. There's really nothing to this, okay? Pouring takes a little bit of practice, but I have a video on that you're going to like. You're going to learn drink recipes in both locations, online or a physical location. And again, I will do my best to dispel that myth that you need to know hundreds or thousands of drinks. You don't. 50, 60, 70 classic cocktails, and you're going to do just fine. Liquor, beer, wine knowledge can all be learned online. Okay? Now, the cons, the cost, obviously. If you have the money and you prefer to learn this way and the time, then go. I will never tell you not to go, because if you can increase your skills, your skill level, then go. And if money's not a factor, you can work it around your work schedule if you're not working. If you're under 21 and thinking about getting ready, you got a little foresight, then do it. The thing is you don't know what kind of instruction you're going to get, and you'll know your first day. We talked about the negative scammy reputation, and again, I believe that they've really cleaned that up, and you shouldn't worry about that. If they say they can guarantee you a job, do not go to that school, because they cannot. Nobody can guarantee you a job. And again, it depends on what kind of a learner you are. If you're a solitary learner, then you want to go online. Okay, going online, it's relatively inexpensive. I've seen courses $29 to $200. It's convenient. You learn the same basic skills, and there's usually videos that will show you all kinds of stuff. The same videos that you can see on YouTube. The whole problem with YouTube videos, and there's a lot of good ones out there, but there's some bad ones. And also, you can watch videos all day long, but do they teach you about what the bartender, what the bar manager is really looking for, the interview process? And nobody spends that much time. I see all these videos on how to make a Mai Tai. Well, that's just, that's a waste of time. So think about that. You can get a certificate in both online or physical. Do you need it? Is the bar manager interviewing you going to ask for one? Maybe. I actually got asked for one time, and this was after I had tons of experience. And just out of the blue, the interviewer asked me, well, did you go to bartending school? And I said, yeah, I did years ago. And he says, well, do you have your certificate? And I kind of laughed. It caught me by surprise. And I said, well, it's probably packed away somewhere. And then that was kind of it. It was just kind of strange. But I do know that bar managers will ask. I've seen many videos on YouTube where people are talking about, don't worry about getting a certificate. They're never going to ask, in bartending school, it doesn't get you that, don't listen to that. Anyway, learning online, you can learn at your own speed. That's great. The cons, physical skills you have to learn on your own. You have to learn how to pour. I'm going to show you how to do that. You need to be self-motivated. Again, there's some poor instruction out there, so beware. There's going to be no guarantee. You're more than likely going to be able to use the website for as long as you want. And again, everything is already on YouTube. But the problem with that is it's not organized. All your YouTube videos, it's just a mishmash of all kinds of stuff. And you don't really know, do I need to know this? Or is this just fluff video? Having a curriculum, so to speak, will help you. So, do you really need to go to bartending school? If you have experience, no. If it's been many years since you've bartended, maybe, but I can't help but think that you can't learn anything or brush up on anything by simply, what are you having a problem with, or what don't you remember? Go on YouTube. Again, it depends on your style of learning. Bartending school is never a negative. I've also seen that on YouTube where people are really slamming bartending schools. I don't know why. Recently, the trend is, what I've noticed is that more people are more positive about them. I think people have realized that if you don't have experience, you've got to get skills somehow. When you're in that interview, you've got to be able to show something, okay? So I think that's what that's all about, okay? And that is the biggest benefit. So my final thoughts here. It's all about value. Do you have the time? Can you afford it? If you can't, if you need a job right away, go in and work as a food server or whatever industry you're in, whatever you've been trained for, get your job. That doesn't mean that you don't try to get a bartending job on the side, but if you need to feed your family, then go out there and get a job. There's really only one reason to go to a physical location, and that's if you really feel like you need to get back there, back behind a bar, and if that's the way you learn. So again, the money back guarantee, you'll know within 2 minutes going on online after you set up, or if you sign up for an online course, or the first few minutes or first half hour in a physical location. If it's really bad, ask for your money back. Now, should you use this in an interview? In other words, should you find some sort of way to bring this up in an interview? Yes. I explain that even more in another interview on should you go to bartending school, and also in the interview process. There's a way that you need to bring that up, and it's not a bragging type thing. Well, yeah, I went to bartending school. It's not that. You need to slip that in along with your other skills that coincide with the food and beverage industry, whether it's customer service or being responsible with money or teamwork or working with others. This is important, okay? So you really need to do that. There's only one way that going to bartending school is negative, and I've seen it where somebody comes out of a bartending school and I'm interviewing them, and they're a little arrogant because they went to bartending school, and they say, well, they believe that they're entitled to a job because they went to bartending school, and they don't understand why you're the bar manager, or why me in this particular case wasn't asking them questions about bartending school when I wasn't interested. I was interested, and I thought it was great. That was a definite plus that he had gone to school, but I was more interested in, does he fit into this place? Can I train him? Is he going to be an issue? And you know what? I decided that this guy, he's an issue. He's not going to want to do things the way we want, and there's just no way I would hire him. So think about that. Now let's get back to the video here for my final thoughts. So you can see there are differences, and I probably explained some things in there that you probably weren't aware of, and you should be before. I mean, it's your money, it's your time, it's your future. You got to think about this, whether you want to go to school or not. I will never ever tell you not to get more skills in any way that you can. You need something. When you go into that interview, you need to have something to show the bar manager, who's ever interviewing you, that you got some skills. If you've never been in the food and beverage industry, it's tough. It's definitely much tougher. You're going to go into interviews against people that have experience. So now in the PowerPoint, I told you that I would give you the answer to one of the most common bar interview questions. And the question is going to be something like this, okay? You're going to be sitting across the table, someone like me, and they're going to say, okay, well, I like what I see here, but you have no experience. Why should I hire you? And you're going to get that, okay? I've interviewed many bartenders with no experience, and I asked every single one of them this. It's very standard, not just in the food and beverage industry, but almost any place you go. If you don't have experience in that particular job, okay, they're going to ask you something like that. Now, here's how I want you to answer this. Just my suggestion, my opinion. When I got an answer like this, I always took a second look at this person and thought, this guy's serious. So here's what I would do, okay? They're going to ask you something like, okay, well, I like this, John, but the problem here is that you don't have any experience. why should I give this job to you? That's a great question. You know, how do you answer that? And here's a suggestion for you, okay? It's just my opinion, and I love this. I actually had somebody answer the question similar to this. Just say, yes, I understand that I don't have experience, but what I've done, I've always wanted to be a bartender for quite a while now. So what I did is I went out and I looked at all the YouTube videos I could. I went to bartending school. I got some additional skills there. I practiced pouring at home. I know all of the classic cocktails. I memorized those. I've got some experience in customer service, so I know that that's a big part of this job. Listen, I know that I'm here going up against bartenders that are experienced, but I'm still here. I'm still here competing, and I think I'd be a great asset. Put me behind the bar, train me for a couple of days. I'm assuming that you have a training program for all your bartenders here. And within a week or the allotted time, I'll be up to speed and I'll be a great team player. Something like that. Because what you're putting in there is your motivation. You took the time and the effort, spent the effort to go out there and get some skills. And bartending school helps. It just helps that he sees that in addition to your other skills and your motivation and your desire to be a bartender, you went to bartending school. So what's wrong with that? I don't know of any bartender that's not, or bar manager that's not going to like that. So think about that. Practice responding something like that. Now, I have another video on this exact question that I practice more on, and it gives more examples on what you can do and really narrow that down and just really ace that. I guarantee if you're going to do this, well, there's that word guarantee. I'm reasonably sure that it's probably going to help you get that job. So anyway, like, subscribe. I have more videos on interview questions and bartending in general. And let me know if you have some sort of video that you'd like me to do on a certain topic that you're confused about, or there's many topics on YouTube that a lot of controversy. Drinking behind the bar, free drinks, all this stuff. Now there's a problem with marijuana. Now that it's legal, and there's all these things going on in bars that you might want to know about. So let me know down below, and I'll do my best and get a video up. All right, till next time.